Dann müssen wir einmal zurück. Heißt es dann, ne? Kann ich für Amelia die Dinge so. Aber das bedeutet auch, wir können uns wieder umkleiden. So. Na, sie hat eine bessere Rüstung damit. Minimal, aber hat. Die Biester sind noch nicht mal Plünderung wert. Kommt nur ihr Schrottleder raus. Und das heißt, wir fahren zurück. Auch dies. Mal einmal eine Runde mit Amelia reden.
So sorry, Phobos.
Don't be. Had I known that Kane would intervene, I would have never arranged our meeting there.
Kane, what a guy. Looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Instead, he'd kill hundreds.
He hates humans, hates their guts, and he won't stop until he dies. And unfortunately, he has a lot of followers.
What did... I don't understand. We had to buy something, right? So then why did that big mutant kill our trading partner? Did the mutant work for Abundance too?
No, Scott. The mutant doesn't work for Abundance. He killed the man from his own hate, and it left us unable to finish the exchange.
I see. How sudden. What a twist.
Genau.
Such a waste. All that time spent for that exchange to turn into nothing. If I find out who told Kane about the meeting, I'd show him what makes me different from scum.
Take it easy, big guy. With all these intercorporation wars, finding weapons won't be too difficult. I could ask around for you.
Why, thank you, Andrew.
We were lucky Kane didn't attack you too, Phobos. He obviously doesn't like you. You're his natural competition for chief.
I say bring him on. That brute doesn't scare me.
Ja, man, so wie es aussieht, hat Phobos schon auf jeden Fall mehr Köpfchen wie er. Amelia.
Zach, I need to talk to you without the others around. Something personal.
Jawohl.
No problem.
It's regarding what you found in Ophir, you know? In Scott's lab, my father's mail. I've thought about it, and I figured that we should try to find the kid. Scott's son.
Don't you think Scott tried everything to find his son? Besides, he risks reliving something he may not want to experience again.
That boy is connected to my father's disappearance, right? That's what that woman said. And look, the mutants have an almost normal life here. Scott didn't know that the city existed before. We could set up something new. What do you think?
Ja, also
if we find out what happened to his son, we could not just bring him back here, but also find out what my dad went to do for Scott. I'm almost convinced that he was trying to bring him back his son.
Oder das. Ich sag
All
ja.
right, I'll look into it. Someone must know where to find the information regarding the new mutants.
Thank you. But I don't think Scott should know about all this for now. If something happened to his kid. Anyway, you know?
Ja. Verständlich. Das ist schon passiert. Teams zusammenstellen. Amelia. Und Nisha.
You still chasing after your father?
No. Well, all right, yeah, but not immediately. First,
Was Rachel.
You want my advice? Talk to Phobos. He's the kind of man who can give good insights on the child. Also, Amelia, I can't shake this feeling that maybe you should look into your own past. Your own story.
Get off my fucking back, Nisha. There's nothing special about my own story. It's a boring as shit timeline that becomes tragic as shit when my father disappears.
All right. I'm sorry. It's your life.
Oder das. Phobos.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What could...
Vielleicht.
Scott had a son who became a mutant. I'm trying to find him. Did you know by any chance where they could have taken him?
A first-generation mutant. He must have suffered a lot, Zachariah. He would have been brutally taken away from his parents and deported very far, in another city or an outside complex. It is the protocol, probably to prevent the young mutant from running away with his family. Completely cut off from his relatives in a foreign environment, they will condition him to obey like an animal.
I'm sorry, Phobos. That's what happened to you too.
Yes, most of the time, new mutants end their lives where they were conditioned. But in some cases, they get transferred when they are adults. It depends on their workforce needs. It was during one of those transfers that I managed to run away. If your young mutant reached the adult age, it will be very hard to find him. He could be in another center on the run.
From what I understand, his son may be my age.
It will not be easy, but there is a way to find out at least where he was sent. There
Ah,
are
das
archives
Archiv, was wir schon
all
mal
the citizens.
gesehen
You
haben.
can find who was sent away as well as the location. I do not know if they keep track of the past transfers during the first deportation, but at least that is where you should start looking.
Okay, wer wissen, wo es hingeht nach Buch 4. Schon wieder. Aber diesmal können wir ja direkt durchgehen nach die Citadel.
I always feel funny seeing the city from a distance.
That's because it looks like a big old beetle with its metal shell. Wait for a sandstorm, and you'll get to see the beetle fly. Who wants to stick around for a sandstorm? No? No takers?
Ah, home sweet home, as they would say. Though I'm not sure who they... Oh, I do hope my clinic is still there.
No
You
reason
know.
it wouldn't be, Scott.
But it's a wily one. My clinic, I swear, it once moved overnight.
You were just stinking drunk.
I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth. I can almost smell my people's blood and sweat from here.
I've been spending my whole life sneaking in and out of this city. Getting sick of it.
Ja.
As long as Vic the Dick is around, he'll be hunting for Zach, and we'll have to keep a low profile. But if it bothers you so much, I can drop you off here.
I don't want new friends. I'd rather change our destination.
Ophir's quite ominous from a distance, like a big black tick hanging above the canyon, sucking the life out of its citizens.
Ja.
Sorry, was that too dark?
Nein, nicht wirklich. Aber solange die ASC da ist das schon eine ziemlich akkurate Beschreibung. Weil nicht, ich meine jetzt nicht, dass ich meine Gestapo. Der Mars Gestapo. So, wir müssen einmal zur Börse. Na Freunde, habt ihr mich schon vermisst? Oh, eine Runde Prügelei hier. Ich dachte schon, ihr seht immer so fröhlich aus, wenn ich hier bin. Als ob ihr existiert, nur dass ich euch vielleicht zubringen kann. Nix. Flachklingenaxt. So. Hier ist das gute Archiv. Du schieß mal hier nicht. Ah, Soldatengewehr. Perfekt. Neues Material. Schwere Überflusssoldatenuniform. Oh, ja, hier. Jetzt haben wir mal was Schönes. What? Das Ding ist halt... Oh. Dass das Ding eigentlich schlechter ist wie die Brustplatte, das denkt man ja, schwere Soldatenuniform, ne? Wäre schon mal was besser, aber ist es nicht. So. Na hier, du. Schutzsoldat, hast nichts mir entgegenzusetzen. Du auch nicht, Grenadier. Immer nicht fertig? Ah, da kommt noch einmal Sicherheit. So, jetzt vorbei. Ja, ist vorbei. Komponente, ich könnte doch so gute Ausrüstung aus den Bergen. Nix. Leute, was zur Hölle? Kein Wunder, dass ihr den Krieg verloren habt. Ihr habt einen Scheiß. Archiv.
Here's his file. Nathan Seeker, April 115. Advanced symptoms of mutation were found in the child that his parents were hiding. The mutant was immediately transferred to the mine of Eos Chasma. Parents were sterilized during the procedure.
Eos Chasma. That's southeast of Ophir.
There's an addendum. June 119, the mutant formerly known as Nathan Seeker was transferred upon request AA-1532. The details of it are classified top secret. AA is the code that the Army usually uses. He was then moved as part of a military operation.
My father disappeared January 119, before the kid was transferred. So weird. What do you think's behind this story of a top-secret file? The hell does the Army have to do with all this? There's gotta be more.
I don't know, but we'll no longer learn anything else here. We should leave before we get spotted.
Golds, Gott Sohn. Talentseite sagte. Okay, das Verband Bonus herstellen 2, okay. Bedeutet, was haben wir jetzt noch an Quests? Technomancer sind noch an der Arbeit, heißt das? Zoologie? Nee, wirklich keine Lust jetzt auf Zoologie. Aber wir nehmen jetzt mal wieder den Fahrstuhl hinunter. Was? Wo? Wer? Was? Wieso? Ach du! Ach, und du. Serum. Und hoch rum. Alles mit. Was können wir eigentlich noch machen? Außer da den einen Tuppes. Da ist der Major. Ne, da der jetzt einfach wieder zurück nach Ophir, Noctis und mal durchsperren. Im Bordbereich.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. I'm fine, thanks.
Kann ich mit der Rede?
Amelia, I know we didn't exactly leave Ophir on the right foot, but I want you to know I'm glad you're here. So, I hope you've forgiven me.
Maybe if you weren't so damn... you, I might not have. But you know I have. And it's been a hell of an adventure, no?
Jawohl.
You're quite the
Reiselos.
traveler, aren't you? I admire your bravery to go anywhere.
Ah, shucks. But I'm not being brave. This is just what I was born to do. Most people don't get it. I mean, I get there's a lot of scary shit out there, but what's the other option? Miss out on the amazing stuff too? Like Noctis, right? A place most people will die believing is a myth. And I'm hoping Noctis is just the start of what we'll discover. Once you find that settler city you're looking for, I can't even imagine the shit we'll dig up. An untouched city? I'm already dreaming about it. Even if I was pissed about you ripping me away from abundance before, I'm glad you did now. I feel really fucking free.
So kann aber wahrscheinlich um Jutes gehen. Privat. So.
Hi, Zach.
Noch mehr
How
reden.
are you?
Hello, Amelia.
Nee, gar nicht mehr. Kann ich mit dir noch über Dinge reden?
Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach.
Nee. Warte, der andere war ja, dass der Mission war ja Richtung die... War ja Richtung... Genau. Den habe ich noch. Ah, erst mit den Leuten hier reden. Vielleicht sind, haben wir noch ein
Hello,
Gespräch.
Phobos. Hello, Zachariah.
When did you discover that you were a mutant?
The first symptoms of mutation appeared when I was very young. I must say that I can't really remember very well. My mother noticed them, and she taught me how to hide the marks, even though I think that I didn't know what it meant. She was hoping to keep me close to her, but as soon as the first marks appeared on my face, they spotted me out right away. I will never forget my arrest, how violent they were toward my mother. I was just a kid. I was sent to one of the farms on the outskirts of town. That's where I learned what it meant to be a mutant.
What's the Mutant Nation? You created it, right?
It is a little overblown, but I was one of its founders, among many others. Of course, other mutants were living outside the city as runaway slaves, hidden here and there, stealing whatever they could find in order to survive. A small community had settled in Noctis and benefited from the hospitality of the merchants, who allowed them to move around freely. However, we did not have any way to defend ourselves or plan a future. We were all spread out. A few of us decided to get together. We found a place, a very unique one, and we soon started doing it up, bringing in equipment and erecting houses. As for me, I especially wanted to free as many brothers and sisters as possible. So I went back to Ophir, and I realized that nobody cared about mutants, especially if they didn't look very smart. I began to help dozens of them escape. And our nation soon began to grow. There are a lot of us now, and I hope that all mutants will be able to live there someday.
Oder einen kleinen Staat gründen. Und das war's mit dir. Gott, hast du noch ein bisschen was zu holen?
Zachariah, you look good. Better than I.
Nein, der kann nichts sagen. Lucky, hast du noch was
Hey.
Gutes?
Hey, back.
Nein. Wer bist denn du? Ja, du bist keiner. Sagen. Ja, gehen zur Kuppel und dann davor.
This dome will match up to the one in Ophir.
The one in Ophir? That was your Technomancer hideout, right? I was always curious, but I wasn't allowed near it. Due to confidential shit.
Yes, it used to be some sort of museum. It was a fascinating place.
Looks more like a pile of rocks to me. Let's hope this other one is in better shape. Otherwise, that doohickey thingamajig you're looking for will be really hard to find.
If the dome is really off the grid, then it could still be in good condition. But we should be ready for anything. The scavengers could have beat us to the punch and scrapped and sold it. How big is it? Should we be able to spot it from afar?
I wouldn't bet on it. If I understood correctly, there'll be some small housing domes. But what we're interested in is the archives of these ancient inhabitants.
Heritage. What a funny little... The offspring of those who built the dome probably reside in our cities. Or perhaps even one of us is a great... And yet here we are, chasing after old ruins so we can rummage for answers on our ancestors. How remarkably absurd, isn't it?
We have the turmoil to thank for that.
I find humans' curiosity towards the domes curious. Why do you pursue them and other artifacts with such zealotry?
I don't want to be mean, Phobos, but as a mutant, you become something else. Isn't it hard to keep revering something that brings back memories of those who used and exploited you?
Yes, but no matter what happens, Earth is a forbidden fruit, and for that, we choose to forge ahead and not dawdle in the past.
So kann man das auch
I can't
betrachten.
wait to see it. I've never seen an intact colonial dome. There are only a few ruins in the canyon leading to Noctis, and they are in such a terrible state. Most are so badly destroyed that you'd need a pretty strong imagination to call them domes.
I really hope we find something there. With Great Master Ian dead and our archives lost, it's pretty much our only hope of getting back in touch with Earth.
Man,
So kann
this
man's
shit
auch
is
sehen.
the shit, you know? Open road and a view to boot. About damn time, too. Needed to stretch my tracks.
You might be getting a little too close to your rover. Maybe you should give each other some space. Could be healthy for both of you.
And you seem like someone who shouldn't judge someone else. Why'd you want me to drive you out here?
Trying to find a way to contact Earth. The same thing every Technomancer's looking for.
Think there's a way here? Really? Well, I don't know about that, but I like your optimism, if nothing else.
So you hope to find traces in there? Clues on the next step to communicate with Earth? Incredible. It's definitely a long shot, but one worth taking.
If we find evidence of the scientific base of the Great Master's tablet mentioned, I think we can make contact with Earth. And if not me, another Technomancer someday will.
Even so, it's a dream. Equal parts fascinating and disturbing. Do you really think they still want us? Especially since, after all this time, they've never once made contact?
I wouldn't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Da würde ich sagen, die Spannung, was hier an uns in die Kuppel erwartet, sehen wir nächstes Mal. Ich würde sagen, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis dann. Wiedersehens.